welcome back to the Aquarium Zen YouTube channel. This is Steve Waldron. I'm out here in beautiful Kilauea, Kauai, one of my favorite places on earth, Garden Ponds. Garden Ponds is a specialty nursery that just caters to the aquatic nursery business. So they have water lilies, other aquatic plants, container pond supplies, terracotta pots, garden statuary, everything you need to really go in deep with the garden pond, container pond hobby here in Kauai. I just stumbled upon this place a few years ago, and it just really has inspired me, really got me into the whole idea that I could take my love for aquascaping and do it outdoors, especially in this beautiful, inspiring environment here in Hawaii. So this is a really special place to me, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. So welcome to Garden Ponds. We'll be featuring a series of videos from Garden Ponds from Sarah Herring and Cam Bernard, the owner of this establishment, and we'll be learning more about container ponds, aquatic plant horticulture, and just maybe some of the backstory on the whole garden pond story. So I hope you enjoy this series. Thanks again for subscribing, tuning in to the Aquarium Zen YouTube channel. Aloha.
Welcome to Garden Ponds. Do you have any questions or anything I can help you with? Well, you don't? Oh, no problem at all. You can wander through. We like to call it pondering on. So ponder on, enjoy Garden Ponds, and welcome.
Whenever I'm in Kauai, I really feel coming to Garden Ponds is my home away from home aquascaping inspiration station, much like Aquarium Zen is in Seattle. It's a family business, totally creative space. Everywhere you look, there's just some eye candy, some piece of art, something growing, something alive, something in flower, something flying around, something jumping around. It's really like an ecosystem of sacred spiritual statuary, water plants, fountains, people, great people, really fun folks, really loving people. Here in Hawaii, we call it aloha, the practice of just extending unconditional love to everyone you meet and making them feel part of your family, part of your ohana. And you really get that energy here at Garden Ponds. So I'm happy to give you a tour of this great place and introduce you to some of the folks who make it all possible. So Ken, maybe you could tell me a little bit more about the history of Garden Ponds, how long you've been running this business, and some of the things that inspired you to start this magical enterprise.
Well, you know, it all began 27 years ago when I was taking care of an 80,000 gallon koi pond. And the owner wanted to propagate water lilies to give away to friends. And I learned how to take care of the pond by reading a lot of books. And pretty soon I was making too many water lilies for him. And so I started taking them home, and before you knew it, I had like over 100 water container gardens in my backyard. And after a while, my wife got tired of all the different plastic pots and different colors in the backyard, and she really got tired when customers started coming and buying plants out of my backyard. So she said, you know, you're gonna have to get rid of all these plastic pots, buy some nice ceramic pots, and you need to start a nursery. You know, this is ridiculous. And so Garden Ponds came to be, and you know, at first it was just a little postage stamp place, and I had a Garden Ponds in the phone book and the white pages, no advertising at all, just word of mouth. And through the years, the business started growing, and I was at that location for like 5 years. And then I moved to a location where I advertised a lot. In fact, I spent 20% of my gross for advertising. And I went to every fair there was on the island, and I just started promoting my business. And I had sales all the time, and I put a Buddha on top of my truck and drove around the island, and everybody knew who I was, and business boomed. And now I've been at this location for 17 years. And business is a lot more mellow. We still advertise. We write advertorials every month, and we're in the newspaper every week. And word of mouth, you know, we're well known on the island after 27 years. And I just fell in love with water lilies, and that's how it all came to be. It was just my passion for water lilies and wanting to share it with people. So if you're into aquariums, water container gardening is the next step. What it does is it opens up your world in the outside, in your garden. You can have a water container garden. The other advantage is you don't have to clean the glass, you don't have to drain the aquarium, you don't have to have a filtration system. You can create your own balanced ecosystem by having plants, fish, water clarifying plants, and then a water lily in there or a bog plant. And your aquarium plants that you're familiar with already are what we're calling water clarifying plants. And what their purpose is to outcompete for the minerals in your water container garden so you don't have algae. If you have a balanced ecosystem with fish that you don't feed, different than an aquarium when you're indoors, you're outside, there's going to be plenty of bugs and mosquito larvae getting in there, and those fish are going to be fine. And they'll be eating the algae and nibbling on the plants to kind of clean them, and they'll survive, and you'll have a balanced ecosystem and success. Much easier than an aquarium. If you can do an aquarium, water gardening in a container garden is going to be a piece of cake. So we're going to talk about aesthetics. For one thing, you know, I'm getting a little bit older. I'd rather not have a pond in the ground that I have to walk into and maintain and sit on the edge of the pond. I'd rather have a ceramic pot that's up high like this, so I don't have to bend over very far. I can pick up this water lily, grab the pot, pull it out. I can take it to the potting bench, repot it, put it back in here. It's really easy to do. I can smell the water lily without bending over very far. Oh my gosh, you know, I've lived with these things for 27 years and I never get tired of smelling a water lily. They're all a little different, and not many people know this, but they're actually over 120 million years old, like lotuses. So they're of the oldest flowering plants on the planet. And there's nothing like experiencing a female blossom and a male blossom side by side. This is day 1, this is day 3. So it's really cool that we can, you know, tell if it's a male, if it's a female, and even what day it is. Now check out this bee. You know, it's gonna like going to it's gonna get some pollen. It's trying to figure out which one it wants to go to. But they actually can go along and they can pollinate these water lilies. And some of them will go to seed and create seeds, but we never grow water lilies from seed in our nursery. We grow it all by division or by viviparousness. And this is Bullseye, one of the most amazing water lilies we have. So, you know, aesthetically, it's a wonderful hobby and it's easy and enjoyable, and you can do it for the rest of your life. So here we are with a water container garden, and we happen to have an excess of water lilies in here, but this is my nursery. And of course, we're selling the water lilies out of the water container gardens. So we have some hardies in here that aren't blooming right now, but we have 2 tropicals that are blooming. And what our goal is in a water container garden, especially a low one like this that's in full sun, we want to be sure to have, you know, about 60% shade covering by your plants. And in here, the tropicals have the ruffled leaves, the hardies have the smooth leaves. Even though we're in Kauai, in Hawaii, in the semi-tropics, the hardies will go dormant during the winter. But our tropicals here, we have Madame Ganawalska and we have Terry Dunn. And these 2 water lilies are going to bloom year-round. And we're going to have blossoms 12 months out of the year, and probably on an average, each blossom, you know, lasts 4 days. An interesting thing about it, this is a female blossom here. It has nectar on the inside. First day blossom. This is a 4th day blossom. On the 4th day, it's all dried out in the center. On the first day, when it has nectar on the inside, it's a female blossom. In the afternoon, it closes up. Tomorrow when it opens, it turns into a male blossom. So day 2, 3, and 4, it's a male. It's only a female on the first day. And on an average, you know, you'll have a blossom 365 days a year. True, some days you may not have one, but some days you'll have 2, sometimes you'll have 3 coming out of one plant. So on the average, you'll have a 365 days of blossoms here on Kauai, because we are in the semi-tropics here. We have a mosaic plant here, which is an amazing plant to accessorize with a water lily. It is early spring, so they're not very big yet. They can get to be 4 times larger than this, and they can even have a little yellow flower on it. But it is a tropical plant, so it's not going to be something that you can grow. You know, you'd have to be in Southern California to grow it, but even there you couldn't overwinter it. Here on Kauai, we need to give it 6 hours of sun during the winter time to keep it alive, but it's a wonderful tropical plant. And water container garden is easy. You don't have to weed. You don't overwater or underwater. It's automatic, so that makes life easy. We have aquarium plants in here to help clarify the water. We have a tape grass here, and we have hornwort. And these are actually anchored in the bottom. So the hornwort is anchored in the bottom, so it looks like it's growing from underneath. The tape grass is in a pot, growing in a dirt of pot. All the water lilies are put in pots. And the advantage of that is you can move this out of this container, put it into another container. You can waterscape it, keep it all looking beautiful. And water container garden is so easy. Welcome to my world.
this lily, this water garden here was a little overcrowded. There was 2 lilies in here. Now this lily's getting pretty big. This is in a 2-gallon pot, so it's gonna get a little bigger. So I just took out one water lily and I put it somewhere else. And I'm just giving it a little more space. And sometimes these marginal plants get a little wobbly because the bottom of these pots are rounded. So we have a fun trick that we do, which is to get cinder blocks and actually put the pot, you know, put it inside and put the pot inside of the cinder block so that it doesn't, especially in a windy area, so that your marginals don't blow over. So it's a good anchoring technique. So I'm just doing a little adjustment here.
That's Max in the background over there. Hey Max, Mad Max. I want to introduce you here. This is part of the team. Again, it does take a team. And then he's one of my lucky charms, as you can see. That's Mad Max right there. And we have a lot of fun together. But we never know what we're going to do from one day to the next. Really, it's Max, have I ever done the same thing twice? No. No, every single time it's a different adventure, and that's the fun of it.
I'm just geeking out here, just wandering the aisles at Garden Ponds, enjoying the sunshine, the bird song. This is really next level aquaculture for me, being outdoors in a beautiful environment and creating with my hands, creating with my intellect, creating with my knowledge and passion for aquaculture, for aquatic ecosystems. So I'm just like in my happy place, guys. I'm just so overjoyed to be able to share that with you here. So thanks for tuning in. This has been Steve from Aquariums and at Garden Ponds in Kilauea, Kauai. Aloha, friends.